Welcome to the Nevada Market Update. I'm your host, Jeff.
And I'm your host, Tim.
And today is a special edition, a Thanksgiving edition. Today, we would like to give thanks to our friends, family, clients, and past clients. Today, we are going to read from 3 great speeches from 3 wonderful presidents in history. We're going to read from Washington, Lincoln, and Roosevelt, all on proclamations about Thanksgiving. So get ready. And now to start with, let's go back to the roots of our country. Let's go back to Washington as Tim reads part of Washington's Thanksgiving speech.
Whereas it is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor. And whereas both houses of Congress have by their joint committee requested me to recommend to the people of the United States a day of public thanksgiving and prayer to be observed by acknowledging with grateful hearts the many signal favors of Almighty God, especially by affording them an opportunity peaceably to establish a form of government for their safety and happiness. Now, therefore, I do recommend and assign Thursday, the 26th day of November, next to be devoted by the people of these states to the service of that great and glorious being, who is the beneficent author of all the good that was, that is, or that will be, that we may then all unite in rendering unto Him our sincere and humble thanks for His kind care and protection of the people of this country previous to their becoming a nation. And now Jeff's going to read from a portion of Abraham Lincoln's speech. During this time in our history, they were stuck right in the middle of the Civil War. So this was a very important speech to unite the country at the time.
The year that is drawing towards its close has been filled with the blessings of fruitful fields and healthful skies. To these bounties, which are so constantly enjoyed that we are prone to forget the source from which they came, others have been added which are of so extraordinary a nature that they cannot fail to penetrate and even soften the heart, which is habitually insensible to the ever watchful providence of Almighty God. It has seemed to me fit and proper that they should be solemnly, reverently, and gratefully acknowledged, as with one heart and one voice by the whole American people. I do therefore invite my fellow citizens in every part of the United States, and also those who are at sea and those who are sojourning in foreign lands, to set apart and observe the last Thursday of November next as a day of thanksgiving and praise to our beneficent Father who dwells in the heavens. And I recommend to them that while offering up the ascriptions justly due Him for such singular deliverances and blessings, they do also with humble penitence for our national perseverance and disobedience, commend to His tender care all those who have become widows, orphans, mourners, or sufferers in the lamentable civil strife in which we are unavoidably engaged, and fervently implore the interposition of the Almighty hand to heal the wounds of the nation and to restore it as soon as may be consistent with the divine purposes to the full enjoyment of peace, harmony, tranquility, and union. And now for the final speech. This is a speech by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a speech given right at the beginning of World War II. This is a speech to unite the nation, to bring people together. This is Franklin Delano Roosevelt's Thanksgiving speech.
It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord. Across the uncertain ways of space and time, our hearts echo those words. For the days are with us again when, at the gathering of the harvest, we solemnly express our dependence upon Almighty God. The final months of this year, now almost spent, find our republic and the nations joined with it waging a battle in many fronts for the preservation of liberty. In giving thanks for the greatest harvest in the history of our nation, we who plant and reap can well resolve that in the year to come, we will do all in our power to pass that milestone. For by our labors in the fields, we could share some part of the sacrifice with our brothers and sons who wear the uniform of the United States. It is fitting that we recall now the reverent words of George Washington. Almighty God, we make our earnest prayer that Thou wilt keep the United States in Thy holy protection, and that every American in his own way lift his voice to heaven. I recommend that all of us bear in mind this great psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Inspired with faith and courage by these words, let us turn again to the work that confronts us in the time of national emergency. In the armed services and the merchant marine, in factories and offices, on farms and in the mines, on highways, railways, and airways, and other places of public service to the nation, and in our homes. Now, therefore, I, Franklin D. Roosevelt, President of the United States of America, do hereby invite the attention of the people to the joint resolution of Congress approved December 26, 1941, which designates the fourth Thursday in November of each year as Thanksgiving Day. And I request that both Thanksgiving Day, November 26, 1942, and New Year's Day, January 1st, 1943, be observed in prayer, publicly and privately.
Now that we've heard from these wonderful speeches, let's make sure to give thanks during this Thanksgiving season. And to close out, I want to read from Philippians 4:6. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your request be known to God. Everybody out there, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.